Welcome to the John Malone Show. Today I want to talk about words. And specifically, I want to talk about a certain word. Because today's episode is going to be a little bit of a mashup. But it's all going to lead back to one place. So bear with me. This might be a fun ride. Keep in mind, I try not to use hyperbole in my show. But today, it's going to be a little necessary. So this word, which is usually a buzzword, seems to evoke a lot of emotion in people. It divides people. And it's strange because until recently, I've never seen one word have this much power. And it's not those 7 other words that are going through your head right now. But it's a word that I feel is always misused, and it's conspiracy theory. So I want to dive into what these 2 words exactly mean and how they really don't belong together. So Webster's definition of a conspiracy is a secret plan by a group to do something unlawful or harmful. Well, Webster's definition of conspiracy theory is a belief that some covert but influential organization is responsible for a circumstance or event, usually sinister and powerful groups or politicians. Well, now we have to look at theory. Webster's definition of the word theory is a system of ideas intended to explain something, especially one based on general principles. Well, the way I look at this, these words really don't go together. Because a conspiracy is a fact. We conspired, right? We did the thing. And a theory is trying to explain if the thing even occurred. So this is more like fact versus opinion. And then all the things that get labeled conspiracy theory aren't even conspiracies or theories. And I'm not talking about JFK's assassination. I'm not talking about landing on the moon. I'm not even talking about if aliens exist. I'm talking about how have we become so divided as a country, right? Do you feel like now more than ever we are completely divided? I hear it a lot. I hear it in the news. I read it a lot on social media. And I think, well, I don't know where you people have been. We've always been this way. Animals are this way. This is why lions and gazelles don't get along. Why should we be different? Yes, today it's vaccines. Yes, today it's masks. But 30 years ago, what was it? I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm a Redskins fan. Well, we're diametrically opposed, so I hate you. And then where did all this begin? This just drill down into something. See, like, none of us were raised this way. Not really. I mean, yes, maybe your grandfather or your father had an allegiance to a certain sports team, and then you started following that team because that was something your dad did, right? So you were influenced, right? When you were born, you didn't pick your religion. Your mom or your father had a religious belief. They wanted to share that with you. I know many of you now might not even believe in religion, right? Because now you're able to think for yourself. You have different worldviews. You've changed your mind. That's fine. So why are there certain things in life where you cannot change your mind? You can't have an opinion. It's this way or no way. No conversation, just heated argument. And I know some of you enjoy that. It's sport for you. And I'm not talking about trolls. I mean, there are people in this world who just love to argue. I don't know if they're miserable. I don't know what they're compensating for. But they just want to fight. So why are we so divided? What are these things that have us all wound up? That we hate our friends. We hate our family because they don't believe in this thing. And there was always the idea that there were certain things that you don't talk about during the holidays around family, right? You don't bring up politics, religion, you know the bit. But now, like, all cards are on the table. We are going to discuss everything with everyone. And I think what's happening right now is that people are becoming more and more susceptible. Yeah, susceptible, impressionable, easily influenced, easily manipulated, persuaded. Hear all these words? Well, they're buzzwords. When we think of the word impressionable, immediately in our mind we go to youth, right? They're young and impressionable. Usually implies that they could be easily led astray, go down the wrong path. So why are so many adults right now acting like children? Why are they so impressionable? Led astray by the media? Led astray by social media? Like life is just a meme right now. Nobody even has an original thought. And what's funny is the people that are into conspiracy theories, the people that think the government is out to get them, that there's these diabolical plans, these are typically the same people who use the word sheep, right? Like, I'm not a sheep. I don't fall in line. But you are. You are, because somebody said something, it registered in your brain, and you thought, that's cool. I like the way that made me feel when they said that. That's my new belief now. See, like, it wasn't your thought. So whether it was a political figure, an actor, a social influencer, or one of your friends, or a meme that you saw on social media, that has completely changed your worldview now, right? It's like our friends who became vegan, and now it seems like these people are on a crusade to change the world and what we eat and how we eat. Can't be just, okay, I get it. You don't want to eat meat anymore? Good for you. You do what you want with your body. I'll do what I want with mine, within reason. But don't force your beliefs on me. In return, I won't force my beliefs on you. Like here, in this conversation I'm having with you right now, I'm not trying to influence you to do anything. What I would ask you is, what makes sense to you? Not what is everybody else doing, not what would my friends think, what's going to get me some social points. Because every day on social media, I'll see somebody post a meme, and at the top, they leave an original comment, right? It was their thought. It's these memes that we see everywhere, right? They copy and paste them from whatever. But that person will leave an original comment at the top. And then 2 days later, another friend of yours will have that same post in their thread. They didn't share it. They plagiarized it. They left that person's comment at the top as if, hey, all my friends who didn't see our other friend's post, look at my unique and original thought. What is this? Because I know a lot of people out here didn't have these strong beliefs, didn't have strong beliefs in anything, including their own physical health or mental well-being. But now, vaccines and masks and the closing of bars and restaurants and not being able to go to the gym is being compared to Nazi Germany. I promise you, I absolutely promise you, that the prisoners that were in the camps in Nazi Germany were not concerned about whether they could go to the gym or not. See, so it's words. We try to be insightful. It's intentional. And it's not just because we've all been locked up for a year and a half, or that people are lonely or bored. These same people talk about how the government or these politicians or these CEOs are all narcissists. Well, here's a word, irony, because the way you're behaving is very narcissistic. See where I'm going with this? A lot of the things that I talk about on my shows are just trying to get you to look at things from a different view. In fact, many different views. Just because somebody said something, don't let that be your new way of life, right? Ask the people in Johannesburg how that worked out for them, because they believed in one person, or the good folks in Waco, Texas. And you might think, oh, that's hyperbole, John. No, because these used to just be random events that would happen over a long period of time. It is now an everyday thing. You know, like the pandemic is an epidemic. No, I think people's inability to be original is the epidemic right now. And sometimes we need a little brutal honesty to shake us out of our madness. That we don't have to be so split. We don't have to be so divisive. Because if you think the government's out to get you and that they have this diabolical plan, they're not that smart. And as we know for a fact, they're not that organized. Look at all the billions of dollars of equipment we just left over there in Afghanistan. Look at all the money that's not being dispersed because of red tape that might create a lot of evictions. So these people can't even hand out money, yet you think they're out to get you. Whether it's 5G or microchips or that the vaccine completely switches out your DNA. I think of one word, weak. These people have very weak minds. They have to be this impressionable. None of these people felt this way 4 years ago, 8 years ago, 15 years ago. So what now? What depression do they have in their life? What lack of control do they have in their own life that they're looking for something outside of themselves to believe in? And it always has to be some grandiose thing, right? So they can bury their stuff. So it's like we've all become the little boy who's cried wolf. And we're doing it every day, all day long, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook. Remember the crazy homeless guy on the corner with the sign that says the apocalypse is near? That's all you now. The people that act like this, that's how you look to us. You used to mock that person. Well, now you are that person. There was a great Bob Newhart skit where he plays a psychiatrist, and a lady comes into his office and sits down. She's never been here before, and he's explaining his payment system and his methodology, that he only has very short sessions with people, and he only takes cash, and it's like $5, and he doesn't give change. So if your session is less than 5 minutes, you're still going to pay the $5. So he asked the patient why she's there today, and she says, well, doctor, I have this overwhelming fear that I'm going to be buried alive. And he said, is anybody threatened to bury you alive? And she's like, no. And he asked her, did you watch a TV show or a movie where somebody was buried alive? And maybe that's gotten into your head. And she's like, no, I just have this uncontrollable fear that I'm going to be buried alive. So what do you think, doctor? Bob Newhart kind of sits back in his chair and takes a little bit of a breath and says, stop it. And her eyes got really big. And she was terrified. She was like, what? And he's like, yeah, stop it. That's an irrational thing to think. If nobody's ever threatened to bury you alive, why is this consuming your world? So unless black helicopters are swirling over your house every day and you constantly see unmarked vans surrounding your house, what are you doing? What are you doing to yourself, your family, your friends? I'm sorry, folks. I hate to break it to you. You're not terminally unique. We're just like lions and gazelles. So maybe roll back with the 30 posts on Facebook about fake news and chupacabra and Bigfoot, and if the government is trying to swap out your DNA. The last time I checked, none of you are epidemiologists and don't even have your life together. So I'm sorry if this one stung a little bit today, but I know there's been times in my life where I needed to hear things I didn't want to hear, and I was better off for it. And I just feel like right now, a lot of people, they need to stop with this nonsense. Let's try to be civil to each other. Stop trying to score social points that you can't redeem for anything anyway. And let's focus on the things that we can change if we work together. We have historically accused politicians and the government of doing the bait and switch, look over here while I'm doing this. And that's what we're doing, right? We're not focusing on important things in life, because we're wrapped up into this insanity. And a lot of people are getting bold and want to be tough. Well, it's nonsense. You know this isn't you, and I know this isn't you. So stop this delusion that you're in this fight with the Illuminati or something. You think you can handle that? Think we can try to reel back some of this madness and not have all this trauma drama? I think you can. I know that we are all better than this. So if we want to fight the man, let's do it the way that we used to know how to do it. And it's together, instead of all these divided factions in the world. I don't know. I just hope and pray for sanity, even just a little. Have you gone down the rabbit hole and realized you were in there and you got yourself out? Or are you still stuck in there and you want to argue? I know either way, you'll leave a comment down below. So feel free, because I honestly do care what you think. Again, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoy my content. If you do, hit the subscribe button down below, and I'll talk to you next time on The John Malone Show.